Chris, Matt, from the band All Stories In. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves and each other and how you came up with the name All Stories In?
Our bass player, our old bass player, he just recently parted ways with us, unfortunately, but he's the one who came up with the name. Usually what I tell people, and this is kind of what it means to me, is usually when I kind of go through something that bothers me, or I guess every once in a while it's something that's good, but usually it's things that bother me. It kind of comes out in my songs, and that's kind of how I deal with stuff. So once the song's done and finished and written, it's pretty much a part of my past now. And that's kind of how that's what it means to me.
And yourself, Matt?
I feel like it has a lot of different meanings. It's got, and the origin, I don't think I ever got the story about it from John, but it's kind of like the Joker. Like he has like different kind of like
different stories every time.
Different origins.
Comes with different origins.
Yeah,
you're saying?
Yeah. So you can just make up just about anything about it. It could be right. It could be wrong.
I think it's kind of it's one of those like, well, duh.
When did y'all start? I read online that you started 2016.
Well, so originally the actual origin of the band is probably around 2006, and different lineup kind of, and it kind of went through some. It was never that serious, or it was more of a garage hobby thing, you know. And then after a while, we had gone through a couple singers and life and stuff like that, and it didn't become like a serious, real thing until 2016. Me and the bass player got back together, and we just all of a sudden had this. I had moved away from town for a while. I was in West Texas working some country nightclubs, and and I came back, and I was just itching to play, man. And I'd had all this pent up musical aggression that I needed to get out. You know, not in a bad way, but you know. So when I came back, I immediately like wrote this song to like try to get the guys back together, and it's actually on the album. It's called Killers Again. And I just, I missed going out with my buddies and like kicking ass on stage, man. It's one of those things that, it's priceless, man. Like when somebody can do it with their kid, when they can perform with their kid or something, that's, I don't have any kids, but I teach and I see that, and there's a huge power there. That's an awesome thing. So, seeing as how I don't have kids, that was the closest thing that I had to something like that. So, not that they were my kids, but they're like brothers, and so I wrote this song hoping that my brothers would come back, and it didn't work. Not right away, at least. It took about a year, and then John, the drummer, didn't ever come back. So we ended up getting David, who's our drummer now, and we just kind of started off as a 3-piece because we had so much stuff, but we just kept writing. It happened real fast. And we're a little bit older now. We're like, you know what? We've done everything wrong. Let's do it all right this time. So that's kind of the story leading up to now, more or less. John, the original bass player, he just left us probably about 6 months ago, tops. And it's kind of a shame, but, things happen. There's no hard feelings there or anything. And who knows, maybe in the future he'll come back. But we got this girl named Cassie, and she's 15.
Oh, wow.
And she's pretty phenomenal, man. She can play the drums, she can sing, she can play the guitar, she can play the bass. Right now, she's just playing the bass with us, but she's very, very talented. And then there's Matt.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Matt.
Well,
how long have you been in the band now?
So I started, I think, around
it's almost 2 years.
Yeah, October of 2018, I think. Somehow I'm not sure.
He came in right as we were finishing the album.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I had at the end of 2017, or no, the beginning of 2018, I got laid off of my job, and then I had a bunch of time on my hands. So I was like, what's something that I want to do that I've never had the time to, and so I was like, okay, I'll finally learn how to play guitar. So that's when I met this guy. And he was actually my guitar instructor, for, I want to say like 7-8 months or so. And then he asked me if I wanted to join his band. I was like, sure, why not? When am I ever going to have another opportunity like this?
How's that? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, go do it.
No, I was just going to say, how's that experience been so far?
It's been pretty good.
It's been awesome, man.
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine like just starting this from the ground up like they did. But it has been 15 years though for them anyway. On and off again.
Yeah,
different members.
Off and on.
Yeah.
Not this serious though, yeah.
Right. But yeah, everything's been great so far. We've done things that I never thought that I would do. Like playing in front of someone, just anyone. I didn't think I'd ever do that. And I never really wanted to be honest.
A little shy?
Not really. I just didn't think that's kind of where my life was headed, I guess.
Just didn't. Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
I was working in the medical field before.
Yeah.
So it's like
totally different path. Yeah.
So it's been a real life changer for you, joining the band.
Oh yeah.
After you lost your job.
Yeah. After that,
He's since gotten a job, but he just.
Well, yeah, that too. So I started getting more into music industries. I went to. I got certified in music business technology. I'm currently an employee at a music store.
Sweet.
So yeah, music has kind of encompassed my life.
As it should.
Yeah. And it wasn't really planned. It just happened.
How did it just happen?
It just kind of, the opportunity just came in. Like I said, I was laid off. So it was kind of a sudden thing. And it was just like at a drop of a hat that I was like, oh, I'll see what I can do. And I just wanted to learn guitar. I never wanted to play in front of someone. I never wanted to join a band.
I just made him do it.
Hey, when you're good, people will force you out into the spotlight, man.
Especially your teacher. Yeah.
Let's dive into that. You said you teach, Chris?
Yeah, I teach at the local Sam Ash. I teach guitar, bass, voice, and drums. And so my story is kind of interesting. When I was a kid, this is what I tell all my students, right? When I was a kid, my dad just kind of forced me to play stuff, and he was always into music. And I was just a little kid, like 3, 4, and he'd make me go be in like plays and go sing and dance in like musical theater type stuff. And we lived around Branson, Missouri when I was real young.
Ooh.
So they had all those shows. And, kids, they're cute. They're novelty. It was real easy to get us gigs or me and my brother, I should say. So we were in like Christian music videos. You can look them up on YouTube. So I have a little, back experience because of all that stuff. And, I don't know, as I got older, all my friends were playing sports, and I'm like, yeah, I just want to go do that with them and play football. My dad's like, no, you're going to play, usually it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So, my parents got divorced when I was probably about 11. And somewhere along the line, all my football player buddies were like trying to play music. And I remember one of them handed me a guitar, and I already knew like how to play. And they're like, dang, you're good. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I guess, whatever, And then it started to occur to me, yeah, I am, because I had that, that previous past with it or whatever. And then I started to realize, yeah, I'm a much better guitar player than a quarterback. So, yeah, it just kind of came back to me. And I think I discovered it more on my own. And because of that, it wasn't being forced on me, you know what I mean? And therefore, it was much more enjoyable for me to just get lost in it instead of being forced to get lost in it kind of thing. But having that previous exposure, definitely, and I see it when I teach too, these kids that are just exposed, or where their parents, they actually care, and I can see the parents that do and don't care, I see it all. And, it's definitely a nature nurture thing, if the parent is down for it, the kid's going to succeed a lot more, and they're going to do a lot better. And, it makes me think about my past. If my dad had stuck around, I'd have probably had a lot more of a push in that direction. But because he wasn't, he was the only one that kind of understood, you know what I mean? So, basically after he took off, me wanting to play music has been like a fight, like with my family or my significant others or whatever. And it's always some people are dancers, some people, are bartenders or whatever. Everyone's got their thing that's who they are. That's what they do. Right. I feel like, and I'm not trying to, pull a sob story or anything, but, I feel like I've always had to fight to do that thing that I just am. You know,
to fight to be who you are.
Yeah, it's kind of lame, man.
Why is that? Why are you always feeling the struggle to be who you are?
Well, you know, I don't know if have you been married? I don't.
No,
the in-laws
not married.
The in-laws definitely look at you and go, "What the hell are you doing, man?" So there's a lot of social pressures and stuff like that where it's just social pressure, man. That's all I can say about that. You know, people look at you and go, it's because they wouldn't do it, and they don't necessarily understand the path that you could take to be successful in it. You know,
yeah.
There's a lot less of them who have been adventurous, you know, and a lot more of them who played it safe. Yeah, and so they just can't understand how you could be that, you know, adventurous in your way of thinking or life or whatever, I guess. And that's what I see. You know.
No,
I'm not a social doctor or anything, but yeah.
It's completely understandable. I mean, experience it on my journeys as well. People say I'm too adventurous, that I take too many chances. Yeah, I mean, but
I think the only, like, when I die, the only thing that I'm going to regret are probably the things that I didn't do, you know, those things that I played it too safe on or whatever, you know. So I try not to worry about that kind of stuff anymore. Like for example, you, right? When an opportunity falls in my lap, I'm probably going to take it.
Yeah. Just like you did, man.
Yeah.
And what do you plan to do with this opportunity, Matt?
That's a good question.
What would you like to see yourself do?
That's a good question. Hopefully just make some kind of living off of it. That's always the goal, I think. But if it's not, if I can't do that, I'd still want to do it because it's something that I like. I always I want to stay something that has to do with music, even if it's not touring around the world or anything. Instruments, whether it's playing music,
teaching,
whether it's teaching or whether it's engineering, audio engineering, kind of like what you do. Yeah,
I think the reality is you kind of got to be multifaceted. If that's what you want to do, you can't, like a lot of times, you know, just working at the store, I'll see these guys and they're coming into town to play, right? Like they have a show and they come into town, but then they're doing like a seminar at Sam Ash before they play. And that's really how they're making their money, you know? So they have like these, you know, part of it is, it's more like the show is like a big commercial. And the way that you make the money is by selling your branded merchandise or having a seminar where you teach or, you know what I mean? And so, for me also, like with the band, it's been a huge point to make it a self-generating thing to where it's not, you know, we're not coming out of pocket all the time. And I think through some of my previous jobs and stuff like that, I've become a lot smarter about how to get it to fund itself and not be in a place where we're like going broke all the time. So that's kind of in response to your question to Matt. For me, that has been my goal, especially since we got serious, like you said, in 2016, was to not be stupid about it anymore. You know what I mean?
Actually apply a little business plan to it.
Yeah, let's use this business savvy that I accrued over the past couple of years to like do something for real. And, you know, and it's been working, man. Just through like album sales and, you know, selling shirts and just hustling, you know, and then teaching or doing whatever other extracurricular musical things to get money. We were able to get a video made basically for free. Well, not for free, but off the earnings and stuff, you know. That's not usually the case. You know, you'd be shelling out a couple $100 each member of the band or something to get something like that done. So, and then, you know, the more you do with it, you know, hopefully the video can make you some money too. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, I geek out on that stuff now, man. The whole business.
Well, that's good. That's something
because we used to totally not
apply to. So tell me about, let's get back to All Stories In.
Yeah.
What have y'all been doing lately and what are y'all doing now and what do you plan on doing in the future?
Well, immediately, I know you've had Miguel on here with his band Marilvo. Miguel did our first video and I was really pleased with the way that he kind of took care of us and the way that it turned out.
Shout out.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Miguel.
Thanks, Miguel. I was just recently talking to him about shooting another video for the first song on our album called Aminatin, which is it's the one song that's not really about me. It's about ancient Egypt and it's about the pharaoh Akhenaten.
What was the name of the video?
Well, we don't have a video for that one yet, but
Okay.
that's the one I'm hoping to start maybe within the month. Doing some pre-production stuff like that with Miguel for it. But that is our next immediate goal. Is shooting a video for Amanat. It's got a sub-name called Suavecito.
Suavecito?
Yeah. It's a good story behind that song, right?
Tell.
I think I was watching Ancient Aliens and they were talking about Akhenaten, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, alien thing, whatever. But I think that story is fascinating about how he came in and basically abolished all the gods and, pulled a fast one on the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
And he, got the hottest chick in the empire, and he's like, we're going to do things differently now. And that takes a big, man, you know what I'm saying?
It takes a lot of confidence.
Yeah, that's not, who wakes up and decides, I'm going to change everybody's religion and think that they're going to get away with it. You know what I mean? And that's pretty crazy, man. That's very interesting to me.
Well, everybody that starts a cult believes the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, again, very interesting. But yeah, so I was just, that song's about that, basically. It's just, everybody, I know you've been doing this and you've been taught that, but now it's different. And it's, I was trying to, from his perspective, I was thinking like, that was probably pretty intoxicating, man. You're getting away with it.
Mm.
You got the hottest chick, you're just what kind of place would your head be in if you were that guy? You know what I mean?
Who knows?
Maybe I don't want to. I don't know. But that was my attempt at expressing that. And I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, the whole goal is it's got to be a very, Egyptian style video. And I'm thinking about talking to like this girl that I know who does like dance choreography and stuff like that. And maybe going with a little more of an artsy kind of thing for that. Definitely want it to be. I'm big on colors too. So like, I guess, what's the right word? A good contrast to the ones that we already have out. Okay. So I feel like the Devil Play video was kind of darker. The other one was a little more like green. Mm-hmm. I kind of want this one to be like bright, like yellow, white, like kind of is the overall impression of it, stuff like that. So that's all I have to say about that for now.
Do you have any other videos that are currently out at the moment?
We do have one for the Echo song. We did a steampunk theme on that one.
Echo. And that was a hot day.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one. We really kind of did up the costume thing with that. I made like a cybernetic arm thing and all that stuff. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, the Devil Play one was more of just it's kind of a everyman story about fighting your inner demons. Everybody's got their things that they're like, they need to squash, and sometimes they get the better of them.
So, would you say that the music that you write is? I mean, this is just my analysis from it, but is it more hardcore punk rock, or hardcore?
To me, I just think of it as hard rock, man. There's a little bit of everything in there. There's definitely some punk. There's definitely some more metal type stuff. Mm-hmm. We like doing guitar harmonies. If you can do it with one, it sounds cooler harmonized. I don't know, man. What do you think? I like stuff to me that I think is kind of edgy sounding.
Mm-hmm. Something new age, something different.
Something with some edge to it, like a little bit of attitude somehow. Albeit there's different attitudes, but something that seems like it's not being rehashed. Hopefully. Yeah, like that's obviously, I've heard that before. You know what I mean? I'm always searching for that thing where it's not exact. I've never really heard that before. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was saying when I was listening to some of your songs, especially Freedom and Independence. Yeah. I noticed it was a little different from what I've been listening to. It's good.
Thank you. Yeah. Actually, that's a crowd favorite, man.
Freedom and Independence?
Yeah, it was never intended to be a single or anything, but yeah, man, when we play it live, people really respond to that song, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites to play live. Because I think it has a lot of everything that makes us who we are. So it has the guitar harmonies. It has a very good vocal melody. John used to do them, but now Cassie does the screaming parts on Freedom and Independence.
Girl can scream.
Yeah. She's really good at that.
That's great.
I tried to do it before. But she couldn't make one of the one of our shows before, and I had to do it, and my voice was wrecked after that.
That's awesome. So, freedom and independence. How did that come about?
The song?
The song.
It's kind of a twofold thing. I think the bonus was that it had a little bit to do with my divorce, but the real reason was because I was in a band. And I'm in this band, and I had joined on as like a secondary guitar player, kind of like Matt. And sorry, I keep touching the mic.
It's all good.
I'm just, I didn't offer up much of an opinion. I didn't have a lot of invested, I wasn't emotionally invested in or anything. I just kind of came on because I had just moved back, and I just wanted to jam. And there were some friends, and nothing wrong with the people or anything like that, but I just didn't like the direction. It wasn't going anywhere. And basically, I just kind of wrote the song is because it was bugging the crap out of me, but I couldn't tell anyone, right? Like I'm watching this thing, but I don't want to say anything, right? Like, so that was how I said something. Eventually, I did quit, but man, writing that song felt good because it was me being able to talk about it, Yeah. But I couldn't just directly be like, "Fuck you," Like, you guys are stupid. No, I'm trying.
And what songs do y'all have up and coming that y'all are currently working on?
We have a few of them, actually, that we've been working on. One of them we already play live. It's called Your Heaven, and that's something that Chris came up with. And I think it's really hardcore, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm working on one myself, or it's kind of like my brainchild or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first song that probably it is the first song that
he's
I've
the
ever
author
written.
of.
Yeah.
That's Matt's first one in the band. Yeah.
Nice. Does everyone contribute in the band when it comes to songwriting?
Yeah, they can. I think I've been doing it so long that it's really easy for me. I don't really think too hard. I just kind of stuff just pours out of me musically, word wise now. But but the music, that to me, I could sit down and come up with like 30. Now, whether or not they're all great or usable, but I don't really have a problem like writing stuff. So a lot of times I'll come with bits and pieces of things or whatever. And we'll sit and talk about it. And usually, from what we do at a rehearsal or whatever, I'll try to cop a vibe, but kind of, I'll talk to him about it. Like, what does this make you feel like? What does this bring to mind? Like I think the last time we got together, we were having talks like that. We're like, well, this is kind of what I was thinking about when I heard it, and then we'll just kind of not butt heads, but put our heads together and kind of see what the best kind of the most interesting idea maybe, or, the one that we can all get behind.
Awesome.
And then I kind of go home. And for me, writing the words is so different from writing the music. Music, it's kind of just a musical thing. You're sitting there, whatever feels good. And then you can overcomplicate things or simplify them. But when you're writing words, it's like writing an English paper or something. I got to go sit at a table and like with a pen and a paper, and it's a different thing. Yeah. When I'm sitting here with my fingers, and it's like creative working out or something,
So you create the lyrics of the music first, and then you go back and put the words?
It depends. It just, when the inspiration hits for one or the other, that's when it happens.
Okay.
So it's happened always, like from all angles at points, but I think more often than not, music comes first.
Awesome.
And we're like, oh, that's cool, and that makes me think of something that, like driving fast or being at a strip club or whatever that thing is, you know what I mean?
And what was the other songs? Are you working on just that one, or are you working on multiples?
I think we've got about 5 or 6 that we're working on.
Yeah. I'm trying to work on one more other one that I haven't really showed anyone yet, but I'm just trying to work out the kinks on that one. But we're actively rehearsing about 5 songs, right?
Yeah.
They all sound really good so far, anyway.
I think this newer stuff is a little bit on the heavier side.
Are y'all going to be showcasing that newer songs anytime soon? Or?
Yeah, as soon as we can. I'd like to at least play 1 or 2 of them at this next show that we have. It's next month at the Mix on March 14th. It's our buddy band Conviction's album release, and they recorded the same studio that we released our album from.
And where's the Mix at?
The Mix is on St. Mary Street.
There you
Right,
go.
Right across from
Paper Tiger, right?
Paper Tiger. Yeah,
Okay.
It's a free show.
it's a free show.
Free
Yeah.
show.
It'll be good. The Razor Doves are playing. War on Sunday. A couple good bands. I know he likes Razor Doves a lot.
I do.
No, they're good. I dig those guys. It's another singer named Chris.
Matt, how'd you get started in all this? What drove you to get into music?
Maybe some guilt, I guess.
Guilt.
Well, it's because I had like maybe 3 or 4 guitars, and I did not know how to play them. And I guess it was like more of the motivation to actually not just have them in their case or on a stand, and not being played. So that's kind of that was
the start of it, huh?
Yeah,
that's funny. I feel bad for you, guitar. I need to learn how to touch you.
Well, I was unemployed then, so I had the time.
So how'd you end up with those guitars?
Really, it's one of them it was given to me by a relative, and then the other one was a Epiphone Les Paul because I couldn't afford the real thing. I'm a very big Guns N' Roses fan, or a Slash fan, more accurately. And that's kind of like that's the person who got me into guitar was Slash, and I wanted to play like him. So that's kind of like how I got into guitar. But as far as music, I guess, yeah, it's been him, been Chris, been David.
Kind of dragging you along?
Yeah.
You're dragging you or pushing you towards to be better than who you are?
A little bit of both, I guess. Yeah, he knows how to motivate you really well.
Who, me or David?
I guess both of y'all do, to be honest.
David's got his own way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not really anything grand or revolutionary. And just that's kind of just how it evolved into.
Like when I teach, I can see people that thing or not or whatever.
If they have the raw talent within them.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of he was progressing at a point where I was like, yeah, he can do this. He can do it, and what he doesn't know, he can learn. Yeah. I have this little girl. Her name's Jocelyn, and I think she's 7 now, but I've had her for a couple of years. That girl's going to be disgusting when she's my age. Oh my God, man.
Why is that?
She's already shredding like at 7, 8 years. Like she can play all this stuff that it's like I didn't even think about till I was like 20 or something, you know?
Name one song that is difficult that she's mastered.
Well, she played, what was it?
It's the one that plays Bohemian Rhapsody on guitar.
I think she knows it. We did like a couple of Judas Priest songs. I think one was Breaking the Law or something, but she did the whole thing. She's only like 7. And I played the drums for her and sang, and she just did the rest. And she had the solos down and everything. And I mean, for that age, you don't ever see that. But again, right, the nurture thing, her dad really takes care of her when it comes to the music stuff. You know, he doesn't ignore or neglect any of it, right? So because of that, that he doesn't pressure her, but whenever she needs him for it, he's always there. And
just feeding her inspiration.
Yeah, she's always on time for her lessons, and he makes sure she has what she needs. He's just being a good dad.
That's great.
Supporting his daughter and what she's good at.
What is some of the best tours that y'all have had?
Probably the one that we haven't had yet.
Yeah, we're doing a Texas tour, and it's May 20th through the 24th, where we're going around Texas, and then after that, kind of our plan is to try to get back in the studio to record. We've played around, outside of town plenty of times, but never like officially on a tour. It's been more just kind of a random shots here and there. Mm-hmm. So we've been out, but never like an official tour thing. So this will actually be like the first. We're all loading up together in the car for a week and a half or whatever, smelling each other's sweat and getting annoyed and whatever. But yeah, so I think we're all kind of looking forward to that because it's been kind of a long time coming. It can be tough to organize those things, man.
Whereabouts are y'all going to go on your tour?
We're going to El Paso, Houston, Dallas, Austin, all the big cities in town. And then the homecoming is back here. If I left any big cities out, what did I say? El Paso, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin.
Corpus?
No, I think we're going to add Corpus on our own.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to do that just on my own. So yeah, about a 5-day thing, 6 days. If I can get it down to 6, I want 6. But
with All Stories In, y'all go out on the stage. What is one of the things that y'all think about before you start playing?
That's a good question. What do you think about?
When can we get started?
So for me, it's a funny thing, right? Like, I feel like the best performers, they're just really good actors, right? Like you go up there and, I guess the reason I'm saying that is usually when it's time for us to play, I've already been through a whole long day of work. I didn't really get a chance to eat. I've had to load gear twice already. You get there and you're doing stuff, and I'm trying to make sure everything's hooked up, and then you play. So I'm not really in a good mood.
So you're playing hangry.
Yeah, but you can't go out there and act that way. So what's going through my head right before is, I got to flip the switch. You know what I mean? I got to turn that stuff off and go out there and do the job.
Well, how do you turn it off?
I don't know. I just do.
Just something clicks mentally in your head?
I used to be in theater for a long time. And so that's just when I step on a stage that...
Oh, you go into acting
clicks.
mode.
Yeah.
You go into...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Your... what do they call it? Your third your...
Yeah, get in character.
Yeah, get in character. Yeah. That's great.
So that's basically what I do. It's, Clark Kent and Superman. Like I'm wearing glasses right now, right?
Then you take off the glasses.
That's right. Because they won't stay on anyways.
That's the key. You take off the glasses when you go on stage. There you go.
So, yeah, and that's part of it is because they won't stay on my head anyways. But I also figure, I can't see that well. Like, that shouldn't hold me back. So part of it is I'm just trying to get used to doing things without being able to see.
You don't want to see the crowd anyways, do you?
I don't mind that, but I guess what I'm saying is like there's a song where I play piano, guitar, and I sing, right? And music's not really about your eyeballs. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be. Nah. So it's just, you got people like Stevie Wonder and,
Ray Charles.
Yeah, they're great, Well, surely I just close my eyes and I'm doing the same thing, And at some point I will probably be blind. So I don't want that to rob me of my music. So if I can feel it out, and I'm kind of preparing now in a weird way.
Just to jump back, you said you play piano. Which song were you playing pianos on?
It's the title track off the album. It's Architects of Sound. Okay. And there's a lot more piano in some of the newer stuff too, but we started kind of incorporating it towards the end of the album. And there's only, I think, 2 songs on the current album. But with this group of songs that we're doing now, we intend to go record, hopefully, like I was saying, by the end of the summer, getting the talks of where we're going to be and all that stuff, have a producer. And there's going to be more piano on the new stuff. Like it's already working its way in and stuff.
So are you rolling around with a piano with all your equipment?
Not a piano, no. I use a keyboard, yeah. Nah. See, that's the thing, right? Like
that would be totally legit.
Those are the things that I'm worried about before the show. Because now, I don't just sing, right? I don't just show with. I got a amp and a guitar and pedals, and then the piano, and then its pedals, and then it's
and you're equipment manager as well.
Well, for myself, but I've done it to myself. Is basically what I did, yeah. Because we don't want to hire somebody to play keys.
What about you, Matt? You play what other instruments? Are you just guitar all the way?
I bring my own guitar, and then on Architects, I play the bass. Me and Cassie switch off, so she's playing the lead guitar, and I play bass on that one. So that's really all I do, at least in live performance, anyway.
Well, he does backups and harmonies and stuff too. So he sings and he can play bass.
Don't count yourself short.
You never realized I was doing that.
Well, my voice is always with me. I don't have to bring it.
So. Can y'all tell me a little bit about the band members that aren't here with us?
Sure. Who do you want to cover?
I don't know if I can do either of them justice, to be honest.
Well, Cassie is another one of my students, actually. And kind of what happened with her was we decided, well, John left, right? So we knew we needed a bass player. And I just kind of put the word out. And that girl just took it upon herself to learn most of it on her own. So how could I say no? Yeah. Kind of thing, right? Like, it's like, we need a bass player. Oh, you can do it? Well, yeah, come on. we had shows and, on the line, stuff like that already. So
she already kind of knew our songs.
Yeah. So, she's a little prodigy, man, in a way. How old is she? She's 15. I think she just turned 15. She's getting her driver's permit or something, and that's kind of an interesting thing. But, I was tossing it around. Is this a good idea to have somebody that young in our band?
Why not? I mean, granted, it probably limits you at the shows that you can play, or
no, not really. Not really, no. But that's, I think I've dealt with a lot more problems from a lot older adults and stuff, or not even older, but just people who are adults. They have more. She doesn't drink. She doesn't do anything. The only thing she loves is music, man. So that's.
Yeah, she's focused.
Yeah, that's a great thing, man.
It helps that she doesn't have to go to school either.
Yeah. I mean, I guess she's homeschooled.
Well, yeah, but she doesn't have to be anywhere the next day.
Right. So her parents were real cool too. And she was a student for years and years. And I knew she was good. I just didn't know she knew all of our music.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, well, you know it. Yeah, come on. So it kind of, in a way I was a little hesitant, but at the same time, it was like a blessing in disguise, man, because we didn't have to take any downtime or, we just keep going. So I'm grateful for that. Downtime's not a cool thing. So.
And then we're left with the drummer.
Yeah,
Tell us
David.
a little bit about the drummer. Anybody?
Man, I thought I turned you off. David. David was the one who kind of came in when me and John had kicked things back off because our original drummer, Joe, neither here nor there or whatever, he wasn't coming back. So we had to find somebody. So John had been, hey, I know this guy, David. He had filled in for us a couple times. He's a good drummer, And,
Was he in Secret Silent already?
No, but he had filled in for him.
Oh, okay.
Because some stuff or whatever. So, he didn't need to audition, in other words.
I see.
We already knew what he could do. And so that was nice. And we sat down and kind of what happened was the first day we got together, we kind of like came up with like 7 songs or beginnings of something. And we're like, okay, there's definitely chemistry here. You know what I mean? Because you don't do that all the time. Hardly ever, actually. So, I was sold after that. It was a pretty easy sell on him. Dude's got a big heart. He's an honest guy. He's going to tell you what he thinks, He's a family guy. He's got a wife and kids. He's, he kind of leaves all the business to us and stuff like that. Because, he's got a family to deal with and stuff. Mm-hmm. And we're cool with that. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I want to say he's probably the biggest heart of the band.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I would call him. Yeah.
And his playing is like, it gives us like, is more, it differentiates us from everyone else. I think he knows a lot of, his style is very eclectic, I guess. And it gives us our identity.
Yeah, I would say so too. I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of times where he could do the same old kind of metal thing or whatever that a lot of people would do, but he has a unique view on what to play in certain places. So that I think he's right about that. It really does kind of help to define what we are, for sure.
Awesome. Because
anybody else would probably sound more metal or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a good thing that y'all changed drummers then.
Yeah, I mean, it's given us room to explore different areas for sure. Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the old Joe. Joe's a good guy. He's an old friend and stuff. But I mean, I think it pushed us to be a little different, and that's a good thing. Yeah.
Where in the future, like how far in the future would you like this to precede the band? Because sometimes I know bands split up, people go their own ways, especially since you got a 15-year-old bass female player. I'm sure she's got other plans. And
yeah, it just depends. I think for me, I don't see an end. For other people, I don't know. But to me, the band has always kind of been something bigger than me. Mm-hmm. And I've always tried to do it justice. I guess when the band was first formed, we had all come from a group where it was kind of like it always built up to nothing. Like there was never that thing that kicked you. It's like build up and they got kind of whatever. So our whole mantra when we first started off was we're just going to kick ass. It's always going to deliver, So that was kind of our mantra there for a while. Where was I going with it? Yeah.
No, it was just you covered most of it, but you were saying how you don't see the band splitting up anywhere.
Yeah, so I've just been it's this thing that's bigger than me. And, sometimes I can't backslide, or if I start to slow down in something, somebody else will step up and do those things or whatever. And, if we all stay cool, we can continue to do this for as long as we want. As long as we're not being stupid,
I have to get you my 2 weeks notice right now.
Back to the free piece. All right.
Y'all gave me this awesome shirt.
Yeah.
Which I like. Where can people get your merch, and where can fans or
at the shows?
Yeah, definitely at the shows. Yeah. You can always hit us up on Facebook or Instagram too, and we'll cut you a deal and ship you one if you really want one that bad or whatever. We don't really do an online store right now, but that's probably something I'll do here pretty soon. We're just trying to my goals right now are try to get, bulked up for the road So that's why we have all these shirts with us and all this stuff. Trying to make sure we have things to sell on the road. But we've been pretty effective about having kind of the right stuff. But black doesn't sell anymore. Mm-mm.
Why not?
It just doesn't. Like blue sells like crazy.
Really?
The red shirts sell like crazy. I think people are just tired of black, man.
So what would you say is the kind of fans that are coming to your show?
It's a mixed crowd. I mean, we definitely have young and old. That's a cool thing. So it's not like just kids or just old people or, it's been pretty diverse. There'll be, people at least 10 years older than me who've been at our shows, and then people Cassie's age. So it's I think that's a cool thing. I think the promoters kind of notice that too.
That's great.
Hey, they're not
multi-generational band.
And I think that's one thing I try to be mindful of as I get older is not to shut out people that are younger, because I see that happening a lot, right? We can all teach each other things, you know what I mean? And it's just, there's so much that I know that I'm learning from my younger students. So what's cool now, for example, what is cool to the kids that are in high school? I don't know. I'm not in high school anymore. They're all talking about things, and I wouldn't know about these things if I didn't have those students and if I didn't listen. So 21 Pilots, certain things like that. I didn't know anything about that until I started teaching.
21 Pilots?
Until some kid asked me to learn one of their songs. And this is years ago now, but this is probably 6 years ago or something. But I'd never heard of them, right? And then all of a sudden my students are asking me about this. You don't hear about them on the radio or, in the normal, what I would consider the normal places, but the kids don't go to those places. So it's keeping me up to date on what else is going on. I think that's been kind of a powerful thing.
Yeah, it's so crazy how kids are just plugged into the internet. They're just plugged into their phones. You get that phone right in front of their face, and it's just game over. And then they can learn. They have the opportunity to learn so much more than what we do.
Dude, yeah. So when I was learning guitar, right? This is gonna give my age away, but we'd have a tape player, man. We'd record the radio and
give away your best stuff, man.
Play it over and over and over until I could figure it out. You know what I mean? Or wait till the Guitar World magazine came out with that song, which maybe would never happen or whatever. Or you could go to the store and buy the freaking $30 book. Or, dude, YouTube, man. If I had YouTube when I was doing that stuff, God knows where I'd be now. Y'all don't have any excuses. That's all I'm saying.
No, even I said,
not y'all, but the you in general. Yeah,
internet is the greatest tool ever invented because it gives everyone the ability to learn their passion, their drive, pretty much.
Yep.
All you have to do is just put in the time to learn.
You just have to be hungry enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's good from a business standpoint too, because you can get your music to more people.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That. Yeah. As far as the being able to market,
we're hot in Australia, right?
Yeah, that was one of the first places that they actually bid on our song, man. We keep getting $15 a month from Australia.
Really? For what?
Yeah, for our music. I don't. Somebody likes it. That's cool.
Just a monthly subscription, just from.
Well, no, I mean we, all our stuff online and everything, we get paid royalties, and so there's this little readout that I get every month, and it's $15 from some company in Australia. Okay, cool.
That's awesome.
So somebody out there is. It's probably the devil play. I'm assuming.
If they listen to this, what is the message that you have to them plus all your other fans?
Hell, thank you for just appreciating what we do. And if you like it, I'm glad you like it. I create music, I guess, for other people's enjoyment also, for sure. But I think for the most part, it's just for me to kind of get stuff off my chest. And hopefully there's people that feel the same way out there, and they can relate to what I'm talking about for that reason. So if you can relate, that's awesome. That's all I ever wanted. That's the most I could hope for.
And what about you, Matt? What message do you have to deliver to the world?
Thank you.
Hey, a little appreciation. Nothing's wrong with a little appreciation from the fans that enjoy your music.
He didn't say money. So
well, if you're in it for money, then you're in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Oprah said something once, and I don't watch Oprah, but I caught this part, right? And she was like, if you just do what you love, the money will eventually come. You just got to stick with it. If you quit, then it won't happen. And she's right.
There's also another saying that I heard from someone else. After a year of going at it hardcore, you either are in it or you just suck.
Yeah.
And if you suck, you need to work on. You need to make a different approach. You need to craft your skill some other way.
I have this thing I say to my students, right? Because, you see it a lot in students. It's not like a Nintendo. You're not going to pick it up and be able to, beat the first level on the first sitting, a lot of times with like a guitar or something, right? But if you don't quit, I've never seen anyone continue to do something and get worse at it unless like their health is failing or something. But if you do think, like, if somebody does something for 10 years, you're going to be pretty good at it.
Yeah.
If you do it for 20 years, you're probably going to be really good at it, And so it's just one of those things. I think the only time you fail at something is when you just kind of completely give up. It's going to happen, but, if it's something you really care about, I think you'll do it if you stick with it. You just got to...
Yeah, if your heart's in it, then
just got to maintain the course,
Yeah, you're not going to give up if your heart's in it. As long as your heart's in it, you're going to be passionate enough to keep driving forward, to keep pushing up that
I remember
hill.
my uncle telling me something when I was probably like 25. He's like, you'll pick up, or you'll put down music, you'll pick it back up, you'll put it down, it'll come and go. And I remember thinking then, fuck you. Maybe you did.
You're not going to ever put it down.
So I never did. Yeah. So that was kind of, people say things like that. Sometimes it kind of sticks with you. You're like, Well, that's why you didn't, that's why you didn't make it, or why you didn't do anything with it, because you kept putting it down.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
I put this down during my travels in Australia, but I was doing it for a year. I wasn't that consistent at it.
Yeah.
Just because I had a day job and just other obligations at the time, and I was just kind of doing it more as a hobby.
Yeah.
And then I just started really enjoying it, really getting down in the process.
I like your setup, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Learning the audio, learning the visual.
I've been enjoying your videos, yeah.
Thank you.
Who was it, the old is young? Or
old youth.
Old youth. There you go. Yeah, I was watching. That was a good one.
Thank you. Plan on doing more video edits into adding more stuff into the video pop-ups.
Yeah.
Just comes with the course of just learning on the go, on the fly.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I remember watching, I think one of the first ones he did with Miguel and Roy.
Yeah, that was...
I think that was... Or at least one of the first ones I saw.
Yeah, that was right before I left for Australia, I would say, about probably a month. And then when I was traveling through Australia, there were some times when I thought I should do a podcast, but I was just like, I don't...
Yeah.
I didn't have the equipment, and then when I got the equipment, I didn't feel like setting up. I was just too busy. But then I met this guy from Italy, and he worked with me when I was doing landscaping. I was working for his landscaping after my environmental advisor role that I did for the construction project in Sydney. But I thought at first he was, because he just had cornrows, and I was just like, man, he's already interesting. He's rocking around with cornrows. He's from Italy. He's light skin. And I just asked him, I was like, so how'd you end up here? He's like, oh, I'm a DJ. I'm trying to start up this multinational business going on. I have a little bit set up in Europe, and now I'm trying to get it here, get it going in Australia. And then I was just like, man, you're a DJ entrepreneur. He's like, well, I do what I can, but sometimes it's a little too much. And he was just a good-hearted soul, always welcoming, always offering, you need something here. And and then I was just like, I'm going to do a podcast with this guy.
That's something I grew up in, in broken sections, but I grew up in small town, big city, small town, big city. I bounced around a lot. And, sometimes I kind of miss some of that stuff. There's definitely a different kind of courtesy people give each other in smaller places, in bigger cities and stuff, that courtesy.
Oh, yeah, no. I would say, my faith in humanity got changed around when we were traveling in India, me and my partner. We rented a scooter, and we were probably 20 kilometers from where we were staying down this highway, and it was getting dark quick. And we got a flat tire on this scooter.
Oh, man.
And we were probably kilometers away from any shop.
Yeah.
Any town. And then this guy comes riding by, and he stops asking us, broken English, but, you still understand. He's like, you guys need help? It's like, well, yeah, we got a flat tire. It's like, well, I live just down the road. If you can just walk the bike down, or walk the scooter down the road.
Yeah.
Stay there and I'll take you to the next town. So I'm riding on this guy's motorcycle on the back seat and just flying. I mean,
you're like, oh crap.
I'm like, in India driving, like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. And I was short on cash, and I had to convince the guy to like give me the tire for like $10. And I was all like, this $10 is worth more rubies than I can give you right now.
Yeah.
Than what this tire is actually worth.
I got you. Yeah.
And he was all like, brought his buddy, like made the conversion on his buddy's phone. He was like, okay, you can have the tire now. I was just like, because it's all I had is all the cash I had. And
give you my shoes, man.
They don't take credit cards. And yeah, and it was relief just to get that tire back and put it on. It was even more of a hassle trying to put the tire back in. It probably took us like an hour to put that back tire. It was the back tire.
Oh, yeah.
And after that, I was like, these people didn't have to help us, didn't have to house us, give us like tea.
You think about that too. I think,
yeah.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to get political or anything, but you know, when all that asylum stuff was going on, it's like, you know, when you don't look after people, man, who's going to look after you? You know, it's karma, man.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple. Yeah.
So I just try to be nice to people because maybe I'll need their niceness down the road. I try as hard as I can. I'm not perfect, but no one is. But it's easier to be bad than it is to be nice, and it takes a lot of work to be nice. Yeah. And so that's my goal. I just try to be nice every day. I fail. Everyone does. Yeah, but it's how we hopefully reapproach. Yeah. No, I think for me, man, my life's been nothing but failures. That's how I learned. Well, the glasses came off. Are you going into character? No. I'm just going blind. What about you? I know you said you just say you're ready to get on the stage, but what really goes on through your mind? Just don't fuck up, I guess. I don't know. There's always like some certain songs that I've always gotten kind of nervous. Yeah, got kind of nervous doing them, and I usually mess up, but it's gotten better, I think. But it's always in the back of my mind. I can see that you've gotten more comfortable. I know I think it was our album release show we played, and I was trying to get him to get into it. And it might have been like your first or second show. Mm. And, you know, I came up and was like, did that, and I hit him hard, man. I went, boom! And he just looks at me like... Well, sometimes you just gotta knock them out of the mindset that they're currently in. But it was I was just trying to like get him into it, you know? Get him in the moment? Yeah, and I think I went a little harder than I expected because I was just in the moment, yeah. I gave him a pretty good shoulder check, but that night you were definitely stiff. But now, I can tell you've loosened up a lot. Just from standing next to you while we're playing. Or so, do you like looking at the crowd when you're playing, or you like to turn around? I'm usually facing them, but I don't know. I try to look at the crowd as much as I can, but I'm just so focused in trying to not mess up anything. But as that I'm always kind of like usually looking at the fretboard than more than anything else. But I'm trying to get better at that though. Trying maybe not engage the crowd, but at least look their general direction. Well, being engaged with your other band members, see how they're feeling. Yeah, I do that too. We do. There's that. We do that. I know we do that because I'll make it happen. Yeah, I try to look back at David every so often, so it doesn't get lonely back there. Yeah, I'll go visit David too. Gets lonely. The drummer gets lonely. Help him hit a cymbal or wait for the right time. So, where can people come see you next play? I know you said that earlier. Yeah, our next one that I would love you to come to, it would be at the Mix on March 14th. It's a Saturday. Yes, right. Let me do. Yeah, March 14th on a Saturday. It's a free show. It's our buddy band Convictions album release, and I'm not sure what the name of the album is, so I don't want to screw that up. But they recorded at Westfall Recording Studios, which is where we recorded our album. So it's kind of we're trendsetters. Yeah, something like that. Well, I mean, the guy Anthony, our producer,
I really enjoyed working with him. Unfortunately, he just up and moved to Nashville, I think.
Ooh.
So that was our last time working with him.
Music of City.
Yeah, I like the process working with him. He's a good guy, and I trust him. Now we got to hunt for somebody else, and that's kind of a tough thing. But it's also a good thing. Sometimes I think it forces you to kind of grow in different ways. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that would be the one, man. March 14th over at the Mix on St. Mary's. I believe
we also played the day before.
I think, yeah.
At Zombies?
No, that one's at Vibes, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're at Vibes.
But that was kind of a last minute deal. The one I'm pushing is the one on the 14th.
Pushing on March 14th at the Mix.
Yeah, it's free. So,
What do you think that your fans or even to each other that y'all don't know about?
Oh, that's a good one.
I can't think of anything right now.
No.
Maybe you go first. I'll try and think of something.
Hidden secrets, deep desires.
Nothing bad. I'm a good person, right? But I've done things, man.
Okay.
We all done things.
I mean, I'm not usually one to like kiss and tell, but it's probably stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like sexual escapades. Y'all have no idea about stuff like that. Just because I'm trying to keep it, professional.
Just be you, man.
But yeah, I've done a lot of things, man. Things that I never thought that, and it wasn't even like, people, they're like, oh, you sing in a rock band and you must have a life like this. And what's kind of funny is now that I'm serious about being a singer in a rock band, my life is not like that. But before I got serious, it was a lot more like that.
Less about the music, more about the after party.
Yeah, well, I think it also had a little bit to do with the divorce. But, you get used to a certain way of life, and then it's hard to quit cold turkey. So, if you've been married and you've been, able to have sex whenever you want, you know what I'm saying? Mm. You can't it's like just quitting drinking or smoking cold turkey. It doesn't really work that way, right?
Was it a good divorce, bad divorce?
I wouldn't say it was. I don't know if there's such a thing as a good divorce.
Was it pleasant?
It was at the time. It wasn't, but now I can look back and go, it was the better thing. Yeah, I mean, at the time it sucked, but yeah, we would not be here right now.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Not.
There you go. What about you, Matt? Did you figure out what hidden desire you might have that you don't want to share with the public?
I honestly have no idea. I couldn't tell you, man. I'm pretty open about everything. I just live a very boring life, I guess.
No, you don't. You're in a band.
Yeah,
that's nothing boring about that, bro. Yeah,
it's not boring anymore.
No, yeah, that's true.
You don't live a boring life. You think you live a boring life,
David. No, okay. So here's something, right? I'm not a big like avid drug user or anything like that. I'd never tried coke until like I was 30 something, right? And it was mainly because, like I was saying, I got divorced or whatever. And I don't do coke or anything, but I've tried it a couple times. It's really hard to tell a girl who's half naked with cocaine on her butt that you're not gonna like, especially when she's really gorgeous, you know what I'm saying? And you just got divorced, and you're like, well, So yeah, I've been weak a couple times, but the situation's kind of like that. But what's funny is when I'm doing my best, people don't come to me, and it's not like that when I'm at my best. It's only when I'm at my worst, it's funny how that is, but yeah, I would never do that stuff normally, but there's certain times where like, you're just at that point and you're like,
you need a kick in your butt, pretty much.
Something, I don't know, but, basically what happened was I got real bad into alcohol and stuff like that. And then I had to pull myself out. I didn't like who I was becoming. And that's kind of when the music started taking off again too, because I was able to deal with this stuff in a healthier way instead of in a less healthy way.
That's good.
So that's kind of what the Devil Play song is about, is kind of that, someone caught me slipping, took advantage, and then I realized after a little while what was going on. I'm like, oh man, this chick's the devil.
Well, is that where that song title came from?
More or less.
Let the devil play?
Yeah. That's exactly, yeah.
Well, y'all heard how Let the Devil
That's where that came
play,
from.
So.
I mean, there's a little bit in there just to be entertaining. But yeah, that's very much so where that came from.
That's great. Really love the jacket, man.
Oh, thank
Where'd you get it from?
Why did you get it?
Because I have a thing for sport coats. When I worked for the clubs, right, all I would wear is suits. Mm-hmm. So I have all these sport coats because I used to wear suits to work all the time. But now I just teach music at Sam Ash, so I can dress like a rocker dude or me or whatever, right?
Dress like a musician.
Yeah. So I have a closet full of like suit stuff that I never touch anymore, except for when like maybe somebody gets married or this one I got for the Trojan Holiday thing, right? I don't know if you saw that or not, but that's kind of my side project where I'm doing like, I don't know, it's more like pop music or whatever. It's just something totally different. And basically I got it so I could do a photo shoot with Miguel.
That's hilarious.
And I wore like all white and this was the only thing, right? And I think I found it at like JCPenney. Like in the clearance rack, it was the only one. I was like, man, that's awesome.
Ah, that's good, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the pattern. I love the design.
So I like red. I don't know. I like that violet red color.
Violent red. Why the violent red? Does it have something to do with the...
It's provoking.
Provoking.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I'm kind of big on colors, right? Like deep reds and stuff. Yeah, they provoke people. You'll notice like if you're in a room that's like red like that, people will be more argumentative and there's more like tension. You know, you have like a light blue room. Everyone's sitting around. They're like, whatever. Yeah.
Well, I hope my room mellows you out.
Yeah, pretty mellow.
Even the first our first band logo was like a reddish, kind of had a reddish color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always
the
been
second
like
one did too. Our current one does too. It has the
I've always been a
maroonish.
fan of like black and red. Like,
Yeah.
it's usually how I decorate my house and stuff.
Black and red.
Yeah. Lots of brushed steel or something. I don't know. Brushed aluminum.
What would y'all like to do personally outside of the band life?
Production, something along those lines, whether it's engineering, live sound, or if it's studio production. I've always had an interest in that, but I'm just kind of like entering that field right now. So it's still a long ways to go, but probably not even at this level yet.
Dedication and patience. Oh, you'd be surprised how little I know. I'm just going on the fly. I'm just very good at learning very quickly. That's my only advantage.
I think for me, this thought has kind of crossed my mind a lot. I don't know if you know who Jared Padalecki is.
No. Tell a little bit about him.
He's the heartthrob from Gilmore Girls and Supernatural. And
Really?
Well, we went to school together, right? And this guy makes me think that I should have stayed in acting, man. So I've seriously thought about doing more, going out and trying to get with an agency or something like that and just kind of see what happens. But they've been doing a lot more filming like in ATL because they're getting these huge tax breaks. Mm-hmm. And that's not so far. I'm pretty used to humidity. It's not too bad. I don't know about going to Hollywood. I'm not so sure that I'm a Hollywood person, but
what about Tennessee?
Yeah. I mean, Nashville's cool, yeah. But for the filming, they filmed the Avengers movies and stuff are all done in ATL. And they have like a fake Hollywood there.
Really?
Yeah, that's like everything's moving over there. Or a lot of things are. These the big production companies are getting huge tax breaks to go if they spend over over 500 G's on something.
Oh, not to mention probably state tax and
yeah, right. There's a lot of benefits so that's all the Avengers films were done there, and I know some of the Walking Dead was in Louisiana, but a lot of it's done there too, and there's some other things too. A lot of TV shows. But I thought about maybe tossing my hat in with that again. Because it's just something that it's kind of comes naturally to me, I think. You know what I mean?
Well, do it. Don't leave any regrets.
I spend a shitload of time working out.
All I can tell you, Chris, is do it. Don't leave it as a regret when you're dying in your bed or that last breath you're about to take.
I've had a lot of
sunset.
They're always looking for guys, and with what's kind of nice is, I mean, they're not as concerned with the guys' looks, right? So I mean, look at Steve Buscemi. Look at you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's not such a thing. I know it's harder for girls. They all want to be young and pretty and all that stuff. There's a little more. But for guys, I think there's a place kind of for all of us if that's something you want to do. And I have a cousin who just moved to Hollywood about 6 months ago, and he's taking a stab at it. And I gotta admit, I'm a little like, man, that guy, I should do that too. You know, I mean, I don't know that I'm more of the music. I kind of stopped doing the acting because of the music and stuff like that, but they're very similar. They're so tied together. Like, kind of like you said, when you get on stage, it's just jumping into character. And then, when you're done, I'm just me again. Yeah.
Awesome. That's beautiful. Do y'all have any shout outs y'all want to give before we wrap up?
Definitely want to say thank you to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having
coming.
us. Yeah, we appreciate it. Thanks to the band. Otherwise, without y'all, we'd have nothing to talk about. Thank you, David and Cassie, for being in the band. Thank you, Matt, for showing up today. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Anthony, for the hard work you did on our album.
Miguel, again.
Yeah, Miguel. Miguel was probably a little bit of a foot in over here. Thank you, Miguel. Miguel just took some great pictures of us from our last show, man. Really digging those.
Yeah.
Thank you. Does great work. If anybody's looking for a photographer, man, talk to Miguel.
Awesome.
He's also good with the vids. But aside from that, I think we're good. I mean, all the fans and everybody who bothered to listen and appreciates anything we do, hey, we really appreciate it. And we love you.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a wonderful time. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Good night.